1.
Hello everyone. Today we're going to go ahead and go over time management for college preparation. Just kind of going over what is time management. Time management can be defined as a person's ability to keep things balanced in their lives. It involves the setting of realistic goal expectations, a willingness to say no, and a healthy perspective for short-term horizon. Time management requires both discipline and flexibility. In a nutshell, time management can be described as a person's willingness and ability to prioritize things that are most important to them. The reason why I really enjoyed this quote was because, in a sense, it's trying to say that, time management's upon the student, so it's up to you and how you prioritize things. So that's kind of going over that. Why is time management important to us as college students? Good time management allows you to accomplish more in a shorter period, which leads to more free time, which lets you take advantage of learning opportunities, lowers your stress, and helps you focus, which leads to academic success. Nearly 50% of college students say they don't have enough time to do their college coursework. 87% of students say that better time management and organization skills would help their academics, and 88% of students want to improve their ability to manage their time. Just think of that. 87% of students wish they had better time management. This is why it's important to have better time management now when you're a freshman in college compared to at the end when you're wanting to be able to prioritize your time management. And then also 88%, that's 9 out of almost every 10 students want to improve their ability to manage their time. Again, you're not going to be able to manage your time right away. It's going to take some failure to kind of get the right system going for one person. And everybody's going to have different ways of how they're going to use time management. But it's important that you start off now, so by the time you finish your career or you finish your college academics, you have the ability to say that you did everything you could do. This is another quote I really enjoyed. We all get 168 hours in a week. For every yes you say, you automatically say no to something else. That's just pure math, which means for every no you say yes to something else. You get to choose what you say yes to. The reason why I enjoy this quote is it's up to you for you to prioritize what's important to you. If you're saying yes to hanging out with your friends, you're putting academics on the back burner. So it's important for you to decide what you say yes to. How does lack of time management affect you? Chronic procrastination. About 25% of students become chronic procrastinators according to the University of Buffalo. That's 1 out of 4 students. Mainly, it could be because they don't have the correct time management, but being a procrastinator can lead to dropping out of college. Declining academic performance is a consequence of poor time management. Students may attempt to cope by dropping classes or withdrawing. When you start dropping classes and withdrawing from classes, this is the first sign of possibly dropping out from the university or not taking your academics serious. Once in a while, it is okay to drop a class. Maybe you have 4 or 5 classes and you're having work and you have to drop a class. That's perfectly fine. But the second you stop dropping all your classes for the semester as well as withdrawing, that's when it's a sign of possibility of dropping out of the university. Lack of sleep. Students may try to cram assignments in by staying up overnight. However, cheating body out of sleep reduces your brain's ability to process information and fully absorb its meaning. It's important that you get sleep. Don't try to cram everything the night before and stay up until 4 a.m. when you have your test at 8:50 for class. It's important that you get the right amount of sleep. Poor diet. Students who can't manage their time often wind up eating unhealthy meals, skipping meals, or snacking on junk food, or replace the time of having to cook. When you're spending all your day cramming for this exam, or a project, you're most likely not going to be able to eat. You may just have one meal that whole night, which is not good for your body as well as for preparation for the exam. Again, risk of dropping out. Failure to establish sound time management skills also increases the likelihood you won't complete your college experience. It is important, again, for having time management just to be successful for college. How does time management benefit you? You won't miss life deadlines. This may include turning in your FAFSA on time or remembering to get your mom a birthday gift. It's something small like that. Just remembering that it's your mom's birthday. The fact that you have that ability to manage everything so you don't forget something that may be important to people you love. You won't miss important academic deadlines. Being able to have for example, like having a calendar and showing that you have these assignments due on this day, these assignments due on this day. You won't miss those deadlines and not basically not risk failing the class. You have more time to sleep well, eat right, and exercise regularly. You'll have less stress. You'll have more time to just relax and enjoy your school and your time in school. You'll have more flexibility. Things will be easier for your friends and family, and good time management skills will help you in your post-college life as well. Effective time management tips. Block your courses. Many students think that they'll learn better if they scatter their courses through the day. That is incorrect. If you take your courses back to back, you'll have a larger block of time to devote to studying. It's important that you have, for example, like a class from 9 to 9:50, 10 to 10:50, 11 to 11:50. Just because from experience as well, when I used to have classes from 10 and my next class wouldn't be until 2, you don't spend most of that time studying in the library. You spend most of that time hanging out with your friends, going on your social media and looking stuff up. So it's important that you have your classes back to back as much as you can. Obviously, we know scheduling may not allow that, but just make sure that you have that time so you can go ahead and devote a larger block to studying. Make a plan after your first day in class. Enter all your assignments in electronic or print calendar. Basically with this lesson, I've already provided you guys kind of like a cheat sheet of how you guys can go ahead and write down where you can put your tests or assignments and the due dates and everything for each week of your classes. So try to transform that into your a phone. Just have like alerts or reminders that this is when your assignments are due or this is when you need to prepare for an exam. Small steps like that are going to prepare you for those projects. Determine whether you're an owl or a rooster. What this means is some students might find 11 p.m. a better time for them to study. Some students may find 7 a.m. to be a better time to study. When you figure that out as well, also remember that it's important that you have that for your scheduling. So if you are someone that likes to stay up at night, make sure you don't have your classes set for 8 a.m., 9 a.m. Because it's not gonna be beneficial for you. So balance your courses. Learn to distribute your time for a course depending on how important or difficult the course is. If you spend every hour on one course, cut back and keep in mind that you have other courses and that each course counts for 20 to 25% of your overall grade. So just remember that you have more than one class, and even though that class is the most difficult, you want to devote your time on the other courses just because you don't want you to be excelling in one class but then get C's in the rest of your 3-4 classes and end up with a lower GPA. So that's a real important. And then learn to focus. You may be used to getting your content in 140 characters, 20-second video burst, whether that includes during a lecture, reading, or completing problem sets. Divide and conquer. Break up projects such as papers, field studies, cumulative finals into manageable chunks. It's not great to have your, let's say your final project, maybe 20-page essay. Getting that done in the last day or two, you're not going to be focused on it, and you're going to have to cram everything, and it's just going to put you in a uncomfortable situation, especially when you have other finals to have to study for. So instead, try to get on it early and break it up to 2 pages, 2 pages, 2 pages, 4 pages one day. That would probably be the best route to do. And don't take a 10-day holiday. I know summer or having winter vacation, spring break. It's important, and you should have your enjoyment and spend time with your family. But take your book with you. Try to read while you're on vacation. If you have like 40 minutes of spare time, just because you're still used to kind of being able to study and you're not getting out of that habitat. Strategies for effective time management. Identify time wasters and set goals. So if you're on your phone, set your phone away from you for an hour or two, and then when you want to have your break, go ahead and go look at your phone. But if that is something that you tend to do when you're studying, just leave it somewhere and then just try to focus on your material. Plan ahead by creating a to-do list. Identify what you need to do, then prioritize the tasks based on when an assignment is due and how much you need to complete. Tackle the small tasks to start. Large projects and big exams will cause anxiety and can make you procrastinate. So start off with like a 5-question quiz, and once you get the ball rolling and you feel confident, try to go ahead and go to the larger assignments and go from there. Only do one thing at a time. Do not multitask. That's the one big thing. Even if you feel comfortable with multitasking, just focus on that one assignment or quiz or project and go to the next. Establish routines. If your home is quiet in the morning, make a habit of regularly using that time to study or read. Take time off when you need to. Rest your mind. However, make it an appropriate rest. So what that means is basically don't make it a rest for an hour or 2 hours. If you just need to kind of take a break for 30 minutes, take a break, and then go back to going ahead and working on your assignment. Balancing work and college. If you're a full-time student, consider working on campus instead of off campus. By doing this, you may find connections with faculty that kind of understand your situation and may be able to assist. And then attempt to work part-time, 10 to 20 hours if you're a full-time student. There aren't enough hours in the day for you to be having 5 classes as well as be working full-time. So we also don't want you to be in a position where you could fail. And then be cautious of how many courses you take in a semester. It's strongly suggested that if you work full-time that you take 2 to 3 courses per semester. Communicate with your professor and manager. Make sure your professors and managers are all on the same page, and more often than not, they'll want to help you when you are feeling overwhelmed with your workload. Also, ask us for help. We're here to help students, and we want you guys to succeed. So it's also important for us that you do succeed and that you just ask for help. Keep your goals in mind when times get difficult. Just remember when you are in that difficult process of you may want to give up with school and work being too much, just know why you're here. We all have a reason why we're here. Just remember why you're doing this. The 80-20 rule of time management. So this is a cool idea. Basically, it rates the time management. 20% of your work usually generates 80% of positive results. Basically, what this rule in theory is you have a list of 10 things to do. Complete 2 of them, activities. That'll give you more value than if you had to complete all 8 of the other activities. So basically, kind of tying in with prioritizing. If you have 2 things on your list, make sure, and basically those 2 things are the biggest things on your list, whether that be studying for an exam or completing a 10-page essay, and then the rest of the things on your list are texting your friend, calling one of your friends. Those 2 things are going to cause 80% of basically your activity and kind of net that positive result. So example with this would be almost in all classes, only content discussed in the classes on the exam. So if it's not talked about in the class, don't study it. So just focusing on that 20% of what is discussed in that class, it's going to net 80% of the results. Overcoming procrastination. Decide on time management system. Use it for 1 month. Look at the time management system that you're using or applying for that month, and then see how that works. If it doesn't work for you, then go ahead and move on to the next one. You may have time to kind of juggle with things and see which time management system is best for you. Set deadlines and put them on your calendar. Again, going back to maybe using electronics and a little alert of a reminder. Make a game out of it. Try to make it fun, and then have an accountability partner. If you have someone in your class or a roommate, make each other accountable for one another. Make sure you guys remind them, hey, we have this exam due, this assignment due, and just be accountable. Use the services on campus. If you feel like you're struggling with English, we have English tutors. If you're struggling with math, we have math tutors. Use us on campus. We're here to help as much as we can, so just keep that in mind. And then reward yourself for completing tasks. If you've completed a large project before even the due date, make sure you reward yourself, whether that be going out to eat, hanging out with a friend, however you want to go ahead and do that. And then kind of just basic studying tips. Need a minimum of 2-3 hours a week for 1 hour of class. Set goals for your studying time. Determine what needs to be accomplished. Minimize the noise in your study area. Have a neat study area. Avoid interruptions. Turn your cell phones off. Basically, have everything you need: pen, syllabus, calculator, paper. Do the difficult tasks at last. So kind of go ahead and focus on the small ones. Study in a small time frame. Study at your desk or table instead of your couches, and just study. Try to join a study group, whether create one with your classmates, and then quiz yourself. And then that's kind of everything. Again, the post assessment will be due the next time we come in class. So if you guys have any questions about it, feel free to send me an email or go ahead and give me a phone call. Thank you.